Hey everybody, this is Rusty with Collector Auctions. I have got a new CGC unboxing. Today I've got a 9.8 pre-screen modern submission. To give you some details, I mailed this in early October. It was October 5th when I mailed it. CGC received it on October 25th. It was shipped back to me on November 8th, and it got this just a couple days ago. I've already gone through the order myself. As you know, in my previous videos, I always open these up when I get home from work. They seem to always come when I'm at work, not on the days when I'm off. But I get up, I get my wife up from bed. She always enjoys seeing what I get. She gets to see my reaction to these and gets a little insight into what happened on some of these books. And she gets to see my disappointment sometimes, and she gets to see my excitement. Maybe someday when I get a better setup, we'll do live unboxings, or we'll do something where you get to see my reaction to these. But for now, this is the way we're doing it. Everything's already opened up. It makes it a lot quicker here. I go through these books. It takes a little while to go through them all, so I try to save time by not opening the box here, making all kinds of noise and everything. But let's get started. Hey, actually, before we get started, hey, if you like this kind of content, guys, hit the like and subscribe button. Join the channel, leave comments. I love hearing back from everybody. I always will take, love to hear criticism or suggestions, or what do you think of the books that I'm getting and everything. So, guys, here we go. Let's get started. All right, here is the box. And so you know, I did not open, or I did not go in and check out the grades online beforehand. Well, I inadvertently did one, and I did see one reject. As you know, when you do a pre-screen, you can set the grade. And when you set the grade at a certain level, if the book doesn't meet that standard, CGC will send you back the book ungraded in a separate box, within the big box, of course. So I knew one of them. I knew one of the ones in here that had not met the grade. But that's it. I got out of there real quick. I wanted to be a little bit more surprised. However, I did check on sheet. I checked the invoice, and I saw the price, how much I paid for this, and I realized, okay, I've got a pretty good idea how many actually did not get graded. But as I said, we got 25 books here. We ended up with 20 out of 25, so 5 of them did not make the grade, and I'll go through those at the very end. Let's just get started with the books. All right, first book I've got here is The Department of Truth, number 13. This is a Third Eye Comics exclusive. And guys, sorry I shouldn't put, I already had this up here. This is XMen 139. I didn't realize I still had it sitting here. This is, I got this from a Heritage Auctions, and I actually just had this sitting here to make sure the video lighting was okay. We'll do that unboxing comic book haul in another video. Anyway, Department of Truth, number 13. This is Alexis Zirit. I'm probably mispronouncing that cover, but this was my LCS, my local comic book shop, Third Eye Comics down in Annapolis, Maryland. They have exclusives all the time and everything, so occasionally I'll pick these up at a pretty good price. And so I picked up this copy right here. I thought this was real neat, and with any of their variants, I will go ahead and submit them and everything. Seems to be like a good return on value on these. So there we go, Department of Truth, number 13. All right, so next book I've got is Batman number 92. This, I believe, is the first. Is it the first full appearance of Punchline? It doesn't say so on the label, but I believe that's what it is. This is my own book. I ended up buying this at a little comic book store, a con, just like a couple months ago. I've already got a copy of this for my own PC. It turned out this was the book I bought. This was my very first 9.8 that I ever bought. But this is the first one that I submitted and got the 9.8. But I love this. I believe this is an Art Germ cover. Yes. Yeah, Art Germ cover. This is probably one of my favorite pieces by him. just a beautiful, beautiful piece of artwork, beautiful rendition of Punchline. And I also got the regular cover to that same issue, Batman number 92. First full appearance of Punchline, I believe. She's actually on the cover there. I'm sorry, we are getting a little bit of glare there, so sorry about that, guys. I'm not going to adjust the camera at this point. We'd have to stop the video and I'll do that all over again. Actually, I know what we're going to do here. We're going to fix something, so excuse me. There we go. Cut down on that glare. I figured it out real quick. Anyway, this was the regular issue. This was real hot about a year ago. I got into the Punchline craze a little bit late, but I still like this book. I bought several copies of this copy here, this version, and I think this is the only one I sent in to get graded, but happy to have a 9.8 on that. All right, next up, we're going to get back into my facsimiles that I've been doing. If you've seen my previous videos, again, I have gotten into getting some really nice books as facsimiles to add to collection once they are graded. They just look great. They look great displayed. They're great conversation pieces, great pieces of artwork. And what we got here is we've got Batman 181. This is the facsimile edition, of course, the first appearance of Poison Ivy. And a lot of people have love this book. They love the pinup on the inside and everything. But this is a facsimile. Came back as a 9.8. Just a beautiful copy. I picked that right off the stand at the comic book shop. So, real happy to have that, 9.8. Okay. Another book I'm specking on is we only find them when they're dead, excuse me. Number one, this is the Christian Ward variant cover. It's just a variant cover. I don't think it's a ratio. Maybe it's a 1-in-10 ratio. I'm not sure. Just a beautiful copy. I'm sitting on some of these books right now to see if there's going to be increased value at some point. This was one of those books that was a real victory for me, cleaning and pressing. There was definitely some damage on the back here. You're not going to be able to see it, but you could see where the printer press, where they grip the paper, had left an impression and everything, and it's a sort of a matte finish cover, so it picks up those kind of streaks pretty easily. I was surprised that when I pressed it, it came out. A little bit of cleaning, but it was mostly just the press that took it out, and I was real happy with the results in this. I think I paid maybe $10 for the issue itself at a little comic book show, but real happy that we were able to get a 9.8 out of that. All right, I think this is either my second or third copy of this I've submitted. This is the Thor number 6. It is the second printing. It is famous for the cover. It's a wraparound cover showing Thanos. I believe it's Thanos, or is it his son, but we'll go with Thanos. And you can see he's got the hammer, Thor's hammer with the Infinity Stones on it, and he's wearing the black gauntlet. And in the background, you get the Marvel Zombies, and anybody knows that the storyline where Thor got a glimpse of his demise, his future, saw this image. And it was in the book itself, but they turned this into a second printing and used it for the cover. It's been real popular. I picked this up through Walmart when we were about 2 months ago, when everybody was going crazy for the 3-packs. This is one of those books that was in the middle of the 3-packs. And as I said, I picked up 2 or 3 copies of this. This is the second one I sent out. Most of those books had a little bit of spine tick damage, nothing color breaking, and pressed out real good. So real happy with that. 9.8 on that. All right, the next copy, it's another second printing. This is Asagi Yojimbo, number 20. Let's see if we can fix the glare a little bit there. There we go. It is the first appearance of his cousin. I'm going to mispronounce the name. Actually, his name is escaping right now, and I don't list it on here. But it is his first appearance. This is the second printing. I've gotten several copies of these. I submitted this for a signing for Stan Sakai. It's one of the copies I sent to him. So I'm hoping to get back this copy from him signed. I think it's being signed and graded by CBCS, but I think they're doing the signing on that. But this is a real nice copy. It's a nice copy. It's a homage cover to Usagi Jimbo #1. All right, here we got the regular cover to Something is Killing Children #13. And again, this is another book that came from that same little comic book show that I went to. This is all down in Laurel, Maryland a few months ago. Picked up a bunch of these books. I don't think I paid but maybe cover price, $4 for this. Nothing too exciting. There's a little bit of value to it, but I don't have a lot invested into it. So if I sell this, I will make a little bit of money. So that's not too bad. Anyway, 9.8 on that. Real happy with that. There was no damage on it. I picked out a pretty good copy to begin with. Usually I'll do a quick press on most of the books at this point. If there's even the slightest hint of a spine tick, I will go ahead and use the tack iron on all these books, clean it up. If it's severe, I'll spend obviously a little bit more time on it. Now, keeping that same vein, I've got Something's Killing the Children #1. Now this is the surprise. What was this? This is the 8th print. And I don't remember the details exactly on this. Was it if you went through your LCS and you bought Berserker, was it #1? They gave you a copy of this. I could have the details on that wrong exactly. I missed out on all of this, so I ended up ordering a couple copies of this. So I've sent out 2 of them. Got 2 of them back, 9.8s. I've got a few more of these that I bought, and a little bit of spine tick damage on most of them, and this cover stock is not too forgiving. Once you get a color break on there, it's pretty much, I'm not going to send it in at that point. It's too modern of a book. I'm not going to send it in. So, it gives me a book to read though, right? All right, another book that was hot for a bit, may come back in value. It's Radiant Black #1. Just a beautiful cover. That's striking. When you see this on the stand, there's something like, oh, this is really cool. Let's check this out. Not really invested too much into the storyline on this myself. This was strictly a spec buy. Heard it was kind of hot. Picked up a copy of it. Got a 9.8 on it. Now here's a story that I've been enjoying. I enjoyed especially the art. Gary Frank, just beautiful artwork. He was right off of his work with Jeff Johns, who also wrote this book from their Doomsday Clock run and everything. And this is a real interesting storyline if anybody's picked it up. This is the Geiger #1. If anybody has been reading this and been picking up the books, they've had all kinds of variant covers, glow-in-the-dark covers and stuff like this. This is strictly the #1 regular issue. I've got all the issues, but I wanted to get the first issue, go ahead and get it closed to save it for the collection right now. If anybody's interested in any of these books like this, just let me know. Reach out and we'll talk. All right, here is another copy of We Only Find Them When They're Dead #1. This is the regular cover. And again, it's the same cover stock, so it's the same kind of issues that you have on there. Printer grip, any kind of rub on the back. Bought several of these, just a cover price, and real good on this one. I got a 9.8 on that one too. All right, now we're going to go back to my LCS on this from Third Eye Comics. As I said, they do several exclusives, and one of them that's really nice was Nice House on a Lake #1. Now, at first glance, you're going to say, oh, that's the regular cover, but it's not. It is their variant cover. You can see the trade dress is different from the regular cover, and they make it look a little bit like a, to me, it's like a 1970s Stephen King type horror novel. And back is just it's an enlargement of the cover, and you see Third Eye Comics logo there. But that came out real nice. I believe they actually had a signing with James Tynion on this. When they released this, I couldn't make it. I was at work that day, so I couldn't make it, and I was too late. They actually had some signed copies of these too. That would have been nice to pick up, but a little late on all of that. But I was there enough to be able to pick up multiple copies of this book. I've got 3 of them, and lots of glare, it looks like, too. But anyway, 3 copies of Nice House on the Lake #1, Third Eye Comics exclusive. Sorry, couldn't remember the word. All right, so we're going to flip back to Facsimiles again. This is Detective Comics, number 359, famous for the first appearance of Barbara Gordon as Batgirl. This was a huge success for me in cleaning and pressing. This was my own copy, had it in the collection for years, had a real nasty, thankfully not color tick, not a color breaking spine tick over here, that I worked and I worked and I worked, and I got that thing out as best as possible. In my mind, I worked it so much, I know where the spot is. I can still see a slight impression, but you know what? It met their standards. Got a 9.8 on this. This is just beautiful. I can't wait to put this up in my house. Let people look at that. All right, one of the things I've been sending in a lot of these orders these days, these modern orders, I've gone back through my collection. I had a ton of these. These were the X-Men #1, the famous Claremont Jim Lee run, the first storyline, with Magneto. And as if everybody knows that there's multiple books that he put out, with one having a collector's edition cover that's had a giant gatefold that came out with all the covers connected. This was the Magneto cover. It seems to be one of that one and the Wolverine seems like to be the most popular of the covers, but this is just beautiful. I believe this is my second copy of this that I've gotten on the Magneto, another 9.8. That, again, another pressing success. It wasn't too much damage over here, but it pressed out nice. Not a lot of work to do on that, but sometimes it really pays off when you take a little time to work on the books a little bit there. All right. Last facsimile I ended up getting. I was going through my collection and I was like, what books would I like to actually put up? Books I'll never own. I just won't. There's no way I'll be able to afford those kind of books. But we got Brave and the Bold, number 28, the first Justice League of America. Excuse me. First Starro the Conqueror as well. And this book had a little bit of spine damage on the side there, and I worked a little extra on this one. Came out really nice. Eventually, it's a little bit thicker of a book, so not too thick, but it was. I had to be careful when I press these, because when you press these and you put your boards and separators inside the book there, obviously you don't want to split the spine in any way. But that came out really nice. That's just a beautiful, beautiful piece right there. Okay, the last book I've got in here was came out. It's a great cover book. I don't think there's anything really special about the book other than the cover, really. But this is a Jim Lee, just a beautiful X-Men book. Well, it's just gorgeous. 9.8. This is X-Men number 11. Beautiful cover, as I said. Had 2 of these, and we'll get to the next one. As I said, I did have some rejects, and one of those was a reject. But this one came out really nice. I'm real happy to have that. That is just beautiful. All right, like I said, some of the books didn't make the grade, so we've got the box right here. Raw books inside. Let's see. I've got an X-Men 11 in there. Let's see what other ones didn't meet the grade. Okay, first up, as I said, X-Men 11. Now, all of these, I'll go back and I will take a look and see if there's a little bit more work I can do, or if there's other damage that I just missed. But we'll go through them, and if they turns out I can fix it, we'll resubmit these at some point. But I had that one. I had Jim Lee's Wildcats number 1. Now, I'd already gotten a 9.8 on this back, so this was my second copy I had submitted. And these were real disappointments, these last 3. They're not big money books for anything like that, but it goes back to my facsimile fun. This is Detective Comics Millennium Edition, number 27. And then I had 2 issues of Detective Comics, number 38. This was the Millennium Edition, first appearance of Robin, and then just the regular facsimile edition. And all of those did not meet the grade. They ended up, there's a little bit of problem on all of those. I haven't pulled the books out to see what it is yet, but as I said, we will go through them. We will find out what problems there might be. When I talk about the Brave and the Bold being thick, these 2 Detective Comics, these 2 right here are, actually all 3 of them I should say, are extremely thick. So I try to press, I do 2 books at a time. I've got a 15 by 15 press that I'm using, so I can do 2 books at a time. So when I have a thicker book like this, I like to match them up so they'll be at the same height within the press. There won't be any unevenness or something won't be missed. So when I redo these, I'll be doing both of these at the same time. Hopefully the damage is something that I can correct and we'll resubmit someday. So anyway, guys, hey, that is it. If, as I said at the very beginning, if you like this kind of content, hit the like and subscribe button. I've got more CGC orders that will be coming in hopefully pretty soon. A lot of them are still being worked on at CGC. I sent them to have them clean and press the books. That was before I started doing the work myself. If I encourage everybody to learn how to do that, it is very, very expensive to pay somebody to do that kind of work, and then grading fees on top of that. So do what you can, save some money. It's a fun hobby. I've enjoyed it. Every day I learn more and more about how to fix things and maybe get better grades on things. So I try to improve my skills every day. That is it for today. Stay tuned for the next video. I have got it's going to be a big comic book haul unboxing. I've been buying obviously from eBay. Everybody pretty much buys from eBay, but I've got some books from Shortbox, and I've started buying some books from Whatnot. So I'd like to go through that and talk about that a little bit too. So guys, stay tuned for that. I will be posting that within the next week. Y'all take care now.